This is From the Darkness.
Stop. I think it was right around this spot when we first saw it. It was right at the tree line.
I'm standing in the middle of the Thorn Trail, a hiking trail in southwest Pennsylvania, approximately 30 miles from Pittsburgh. This trail runs 80 miles through the dense wilderness of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. It was here near the state border that Amy had an unforgettable encounter while on a weekend hiking trip.
I stopped here because I saw what appeared to be a man hanging from the tree.
Amy is a 29-year-old nursing assistant from the Pittsburgh suburbs. She is an avid hiking and camping enthusiast who regularly uses Thorn Trail. That morning, Amy saw a figure which appeared to be human hanging from the trees.
But as I got closer, I came to realize that it wasn't a person, and it wasn't hanging. In fact, it was hovering.
It's then that Amy pulls out her phone and shows me a video she took of the incident.
You can see if you look at it that the arms are a lot longer than a normal person's arms. The thing that's odd is that it's so still, and you can't make out any discernible features either.
The video shows a slightly distorted but obviously humanoid figure. It's hard to make out any exact details from the shaky video due to the fact that Amy is zooming in from such a distance on her camera phone. The video lasts about 20 seconds.
I was only able to capture it just that long. I was shocked that my phone even saved the clip because as I was taking the video, my phone just shut off, even though I had charged it overnight.
At this point, Amy turned around to begin the 5-mile hike back to her car.
I kept looking back at it, and it was in the same place for about the first half mile, but then it started slowly drifting towards me. That's when I was starting to panic. It was daylight, but there was no one around. I mean, there usually isn't, and it was unnerving because its whole body stayed so still.
According to Amy, the chase lasted nearly 3 miles. But in all that distance, Amy had put no ground between her and the figure. In fact, it was now only a few feet away.
And then it was right behind me. I didn't know what to do anymore, and I stopped. I turned around.
It takes Amy a moment to collect herself. It was the first time she had been back to the trail in the nearly 2 years since her incident.
I was looking straight at it. I didn't know if it could see me or if it could hear me. It didn't appear to have eyes or even ears. It also didn't have a mouth. And now I could see that its skin seemed burned. But unlike people I'd seen in burn units, it didn't seem like an infliction. It seemed almost natural to it somehow. I know it sounds weird, but it's really hard to explain. It just floated right in front of me, and then it just felt like I was paralyzed. For some reason, I just couldn't move, and then I can't remember anything else.
Amy says she blacked out for about an hour before a couple of hikers found her lying on the side of the trail.
I woke up to this couple standing above me, and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't speak for a few minutes, but I could move again. They helped me up and walked me to my car. They seemed concerned, but I didn't tell them what happened. I just told them I was okay and I just wanted to get out of there. I spent about 5 minutes alone in my apartment, but I just had to get out of there. My gut was telling me not to be alone for some reason. So I headed to work early, which is something I never do. And for a week, I slept at a friend's.
Amy eventually overcame her fear of being alone. But for over 6 months, she didn't speak to anyone about the incident or look at her videos. It wasn't until she came across a local news report that she finally decided to face her fears.
So I'm watching the news one night, and they run a piece about a couple having an unusual encounter on the Thorn Trail, and everything they're describing in the interview is similar to mine. The only difference is that it didn't follow them for whatever reason. So I turn the TV off, and I sit there for several minutes and just wrestle with myself over whether or not to check my videos. I didn't even think there was anything there because I'd been so scared of it all being real, and I didn't even want to think about the possibility. And then I looked, and It was like my heart just stopped. All I could see was the preview picture for the clip, and I can already see what it is. I immediately know without even having to click play. So I put my phone back in my purse and I went to work. But during my break, I took it out and I finally watched it. I watched it 3 times before going back to work. The next day, I put the video up on YouTube. I don't know why exactly. I guess I just didn't want it to be a personal experience anymore. I wanted to know I wasn't the only one. And almost immediately, I started getting responses from people who said they'd seen the creature and experienced similar events.
Amy shows me some of her emails, many of them describing a similar dark creature which often stalks them through the trails. Some also describe paralysis and blackout. One even claims that the figure spoke to him telepathically, the creature inferring that it was something from beyond this dimension.
I mean, it was a confirmation that I hadn't just lost it.
As we walked back to our cars, I noticed that Amy continues looking over her shoulder repeatedly. It's as if she's expecting the creature to appear again.
I think it'll still be a little while until I have the courage to be outdoors alone again.
Since Amy's video went viral, people continue to share their own experiences and encounters with the creature. Park authorities have never commented on the story and refused my request for comment. We may never know exactly what is stalking Thorn Trail or what it wants. From the Darkness is produced by The Infinite Union, and you can find all of our podcasts at theinfiniteunion.com.